everyone, thanks for joining today's webinar. My name is Chris, and I'll be your host for today. In this webinar, we wanted to take a look at 5 tips for optimizing your affiliate program. So I don't want to take too much time out of everybody's day, but I wanted to kind of take a look at some key tips of some things that you should be looking at to make sure that your program is as optimized as it can be. Just so everyone knows, I am recording today's webinar. So I'll send a copy of the deck to everyone after the presentation as well, and then the recorded version will be located in the Knowledge Center. Feel free to ask any questions as you go along, and then I'll get to those at the end, and we'll see if we can go over any questions that you have. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first tip that I wanted to take a look at is publisher recruitment. So obviously this is going to be a key thing that you're going to want to view all the time for your program. You should be constantly looking for new publishers that can help reach your goals and help you to optimize. But there's a few key areas that you'll want to take a look at in terms of publisher recruitment, and you want to focus that based on what your goal is for the program. And you may want to have a very focused goal, or maybe you want to focus on each of these kind of individually. So obviously you're going to want to be driving revenue for the program, and so in terms of recruiting publishers for driving more revenue and more sales for the program, you're going to want to focus on your coupon, loyalty, and deal sites that can attract people that are looking for new offers and things like that as well. If you're looking to build more brand awareness, you should also be focused on recruiting influencers, bloggers, different content sites, and publishers that can help make your brand more interesting to someone that maybe hasn't heard of it yet, or bring it to their attention and have someone be a new customer. And with that being said as well, you also want to focus on targeting new customers for the program. So if you're looking to get more new customers and bring new customers into your brand, it's good to focus on recruiting some loyalty sites or publishers that can help attract unique visitors and bring that new customer on board. And then if you're looking to increase more traffic for the program, you'll want to work with publishers that can maybe assist with PPC or TM Plus offers and things like that that can drive some more traffic to your site. And in terms of recruitment as well, if you're not already familiar, we do have a tool called Optimizer, which allows you to look for publishers based on some advanced search methods. So you can look for publishers based on their network performance, their average monthly views, their social media presence. So maybe if you wanted to look at their total followers, or maybe you wanted to set a minimum threshold for maybe specifically for Instagram or Facebook or things like that, it could be a great way to find some publishers that'll be a good fit for the program. And I wanted to point out as well, you'll see a screenshot here where you can filter when you're looking at the advanced search tool within Optimizer if you wanted to look at publishers that are driving revenue and things like that to get a better idea of who that publisher is and who you'd like to recruit to the program. And as you're continuing to recruit publishers to the program, it's always good to reach out to them to see if there's anything else that they need to accept your invite, or especially if they've recently joined the program, to start that conversation with them to make sure that they have all the info that they can need to go ahead and start promoting as soon as possible. So I just have some example communication of the types of things that you might want to include when you're reaching out to your publishers. So things like your average order value, your conversion rate, your payout or your commission structure, any promotions, or maybe top sellers or new products that you have. Those are all the types of things that publishers are going to want to look for. So especially when you're looking to get them to join the program, it's good to provide them with some of that additional info. And going along with that as well, tip number 2 that we wanted to take a look at is relationship building. So communication and building relationships with your publishers is always going to be key to success for your program. So you want to make this an ongoing key for the program as well. So you want to constantly communicate with your publishers even after they've joined, or especially focus on those publishers that might be driving your revenue or your traffic to make sure that they have the most up-to-date info for the program as well. So it's good to schedule calls with publishers, maybe send them direct email communications. I always recommend getting on the cadence of sending a newsletter, maybe once a month or once a week, with anything that you have going on. Maybe you have some new promotions, things like that. And just to point out as well, you'll see the example that I have over here. You can tag some of your creatives in your newsletter, and this allows publishers to pull that directly when they receive it. So it's great when you maybe add new banners or new text links, or even if you have some banners or text links that you prefer publishers use, you can tag those directly in your newsletter as well. So you're always going to want to make sure that you're continuing to discuss things with your publishers, and they'll be able to give you the best insight into what works for them within their category, within your category on their site, or maybe some similar brands, to get a better idea of how you can optimize with them. And for tip number 3, one of the best ways to optimize with them is to take a look at some of the different placements and opportunities for extra exposure that they have. So let's take a look at some of the best ways to find some different placement opportunities. So you'll see on your notifications section, we have a list of publisher opportunities that our publisher development team helps put together for things that are coming up. So this is a curated list of just some popular publisher opportunities and things that you want to take a look at. So I recommend viewing this often to see if there's anything that you might be interested in, or something that you might like to reach out to a publisher to find out more about. But if you're looking for other info on publishers, or maybe you aren't seeing a specific publisher's info up there as well, you can always reach out to the support team to see if we have any additional opportunities available. And this page is also broken out into different types of opportunities that publishers have. So a common one that you'll see often are commission increase opportunities. So publishers may give you additional exposure opportunities in exchange for a commission increase for a certain period of time. So it's a great way to maybe test a new partnership. Maybe you're not sure what the ROI might be for a specific publisher, or they've recently joined the program, or maybe you wanted to see if you fit well with their members or their demographic and things like that. Testing out a commission increase opportunity is a great way to see how that publisher might perform for the program. And loyalty publishers like Ebates or Mr. Rebates, Be Frugal often hold cashback events where you can increase your commission rate, which allows them to increase their cashback to their members. And it can be a great way to entice someone that might be new to your brand to make their first purchase, or maybe someone that may be on the fence about making a purchase sees that extra cash back. So it's a great way to kind of optimize with some loyalty publishers as well. Another placement type is paid placements. So these would be for flat fees, and oftentimes these would be for homepage or category page placements, maybe email blasts or newsletter inclusions and things like that. So it's a good idea to take a look at maybe some of your top publishers to see what different paid placements or flat fee placements that they have coming up. And oftentimes their media kit will contain their demographics, more info about their opportunities and things. So it's always a good idea to view that to understand what your potential ROI might be, or maybe discuss that with publishers to see what some similar brands are doing in terms of what works for them and what you might like to be included on. And so with that being said as well, there's also a lot of ways to work with publishers outside of what they might have strictly within their media kit or their offerings. So publishers may also have hybrid opportunities. So you might want to give them a commission increase, which allows you to maybe get a lower cost for their flat fee placement, or maybe you want to consider some different out-of-the-box opportunities. So for example, you could consider product gifting. So if you wanted to look at getting review for specific products, you can provide a publisher with a free gift, maybe give them exclusive codes so that they're able to lower their rate or give you a better placement. You can look at custom commission increases. So good thing to do as well is publishers may have their media kit and their opportunities, but it's always good to talk about your specific program and see if they're open to maybe testing something specific just for you and your program, or something that they might be able to work with you on. We also have the preferred publisher tool, which I wanted to point out here when you're looking at maybe different out-of-the-box things that you're going to discuss with your publishers. Preferred publisher is an attribution feature. It allows you to select a publisher and give them preferred status. So as long as they show up anywhere in your clickstream, which is your cookie duration, they'll get credit for a transaction even if they're not the last click. So that's especially great if you're working with more content sites or bloggers and you want to make sure that they're being credited for the orders that they're truly driving. And so when you're starting to book some of these publisher placements, it's a good idea to have your promotional calendar out and try to identify different opportunities that you'd like to participate in. So especially as much time as you can have in advance to get an idea of what's coming up so that you can make sure that you're booking your spot in time and make sure that you have any of the required collateral that that publisher might need. So it's a good idea to kind of plan things out, maybe even a month in advance, or maybe plan things for the next upcoming quarter, things like that, to make sure you have all your placements lined up. All right, and then for tip number 4, I wanted to take a look at TM or trademark plus bidding opportunities that publishers can sometimes have. I wanted to point this out as well because this is sometimes something that's overlooked by advertisers, or maybe you are a little bit concerned about giving publishers these rights. So I wanted to talk about what the kind of benefits to taking a look at this is. So some of the best things to take a look at when you're viewing publishers that offer trademark plus bidding opportunities is this can increase your revenue. So publishers can drive a lot of incremental revenue and traffic by using that, and it also helps cut down on your CPC budget because you're only paying for that traffic that's resulting in sales. But it opens you up to new publishers that specialize in this, and I have a screenshot here from a publisher called Wickfire that specializes in this type of TM plus search opportunity. So it opens you up to publishers that you may not otherwise be able to join with, or maybe not be able to fully optimize with, and gives you a lot more avenues to work with those publishers. But it also gives you the ability to have your publishers outbid your competitors for you. So especially if you don't already do your own search, it's good to maybe consider looking at publishers that can help you out with this and help drive some more traffic and brand awareness. But this also gives you access to more opportunities. So publishers, as I mentioned before, if you're looking at maybe out-of-the-box opportunities or things like that, you may be able to get better placements with publishers by giving them access to your TM Plus rights. And it's important to keep in mind that you don't always have to open this up for the whole program. You can always just give this access to one publisher, or maybe even a few publishers, so that only those publishers have the rights to go ahead and use this. So it's a good way to work with them and see if they can help increase some of the traffic and sales for the program. And then publishers are also motivated by this because you're giving them that permission. They may be able to give you extra exposure. They're going to be a little bit more motivated to promote the brand when they're able to go ahead and promote. And so this is a great way to work with them to get maybe semi-exclusive privileges, things like that, if you want to get included in newsletters, or maybe you wanted to get access to a publisher that you didn't have access to before. All of these are great benefits for working with publishers that can do this type of promotion. So it's always important to discuss this with publishers, so you may want to consider discussing whether a publisher is able to run this type of promotion. And you can always test this out as well. So you might want to run this for 30 days, 60 days. And then if you think that this isn't very beneficial for the program, or it's something that you don't want to continue with, you can always revoke that permission for that publisher as well. All right, and then the last tip that I wanted to take a look at is working with cart abandonment publishers. And there's a few different publishers that offer different retargeting opportunities and things like that. And so it's a good idea to have a strategy in place for how you're going to work with these publishers. And many advertisers can benefit from implementing a cart abandonment strategy. So it's important to take a look at who these publishers are and see what types of opportunities that they have to see how they can potentially help you. I think we've all been at a checkout page where maybe you weren't ready to fully hit that purchase button, and maybe you wanted to come back and maybe add something to your cart, or maybe you're not quite quite ready yet, or you went to look for a coupon and didn't end up making the purchase. So working with some cart abandonment publishers helps to re-engage with that potential customer that showed some interest in your product. So they can offer different opportunities like in-stock alerts, email notifications, price drop notifications, and a lot of custom opportunities as well. And so publishers like Upsell It, Yieldify, V Interactive will have their own different kind of solutions and things that you can take a look at. So I recommend discussing this with each one to see what they have and how they can potentially work with your program. And as many of them will be able to come up with what they think would be the best fit for the program and what options that they have might be able to help benefit your program. So it's good to set up some calls or maybe see if they have any recommendations to provide you. So if you do need any introductions to any of these publishers, definitely reach out to the support team as well. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. I just wanted to open it up for any questions. I didn't get any so far, so feel free to submit those if you have any, and I'll answer them soon. Thanks. All right, and I do have a question on if there are any past webinars that can be watched. So these are located every time we hold the webinar, which is once a month. We put the recorded version in the Knowledge Center. So it's located under webinars, and you'll see that listed there with a number of past ones that we held. So recently we held a spring cleaning webinar. We held one on working with new customer strategy and driving new customers. So yeah, definitely take a look at some of the past webinars there. There's a lot of good info to view for the program. All right, and do we have any other questions? All right, and so I do have a question on sorting publishers by type. And maybe, for example, if you wanted to only see coupon sites. So you can filter publishers by their type. So if you're in the Manage Publishers page, you'll notice that promotional method is an option. So you'll see you can maybe, if you wanted to look at just coupon or deal sites, or maybe you wanted to filter by if they're bloggers and things like that. It is important to remember that some publishers may not be strictly one type, so they may have a few different promotional methods that they use. But you can filter through and get an idea of who that publisher is. But you'll also be able to look at their promotional methods if you're viewing them to see if maybe they do have a blog or anything that might be associated with them as well. And then I do have a question on the difference between TM or TM Plus. So TM or trademark would be just for your brand's trademark, but TM Plus is more of a catch-all for your restricted keywords or extra things that you want to restrict publishers from bidding on. So it might be for your brand's name plus coupon, or maybe your brand's name plus deal or something like that. So it makes sure that publishers are only using the things that are available to promote as well. All right, great. And then if we don't have any questions, I just want to thank everyone once again for attending today's webinar. Like I said, I'll be passing a copy of the deck out to everyone that attended as well. And then shortly after, there'll be a recorded version located in the Resource Center if you wanted to take a look at that for your reference. But if you do have any other questions, just reach out to our advertiser support team and we'll be happy to help. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a good rest of your day.